This is a short guide on how to find the perfect size for your Oura Ring. This is my first video, no one will probably see it, but this is primarily for me so I can remember these tips. So first off, when you get your Oura test kit, the first thing you should do is to eliminate which rings that doesn't fit you and find the ones that actually do fit you. Some will be way too large and some you won't even be able to get on your finger. But when you have boiled it down to two different rings, because they don't have half sizes, so it might be quite difficult to find the right size for you. But when you eventually boil it down to two rings, you might think, should I choose the larger one or should I choose the smaller one? And there are actually some key tips for determining which ring is for you. But first of all, for just eliminating the rings that don't fit you, for example, if we have a ring that is too big, they have this thing called the knuckle test. So if you do a knuckle with the ring on your index finger preferably, they actually recommend putting it on your index finger because the sensors will be closest to your veins or something. The accuracy is much better on your index finger. So if you do a knuckle and if you see an air pocket between your finger and the ring is too big. So you have to size it down until you find a ring where when you do the knuckle test, there is no air between your finger and the ring. So when you have found the rings that you would like to try on, for me it's 9 and 10, and I was very confused between which one I should pick. But there are some few practices and a few tips for choosing between the two rings you have found fit you the best. The first tip is that the material you get in the sizing test kit, they are made out of plastic. The real rings, they are made out of some smoother materials, some seamless inner molding they call it, and it's much smoother, meaning that if you choose a ring that is too large from the test kit, the real ring will just slide around all the time, which could be a huge problem because it's very important that these indentations, they sit directly on your palm side because that's how the sensors work. So if you choose a ring that is too big, the sensors won't be as accurate as if you chose a smaller ring. So in any situation, you should probably go with the smaller one that if you're confused about two rings, go with the one that fits a bit more tightly. But you should wear both these rings on opposite hands for 24 hours at least, so you can get a feel of how they actually feel like. And if the smaller ring between the two is actually quite uncomfortable, then you should, of course, pick the larger one. It's not that big of a problem. You just have to slide it in place so the sensors, they line up accurately with how they say you should have it. So that's my recommendation. Try them on for 24 hours and then see if you can go with the smaller one. That would be the best choice. And also for the smaller one, if you can't get it off normally, it's alright because you should be able, if you can't take it off with soap and water, then the ring is definitely too small, but if you can, then it's alright. So I would always go with the smaller choice. It just fits better, it's more accurate, and you don't have to slide it around all the time. So go with the smaller one.